And a very pleasant good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Tornado Talk, where we talk all things Brevard College Tornadoes athletics. Another exciting show on tap for you tonight. Middle of hoop season, so we'll be talking a lot of women's and men's basketball here at Brevard College. But before we get started, we do want to thank our sponsors. Appreciate their support of Brevard College athletics, Arby's, Brevard Orthopedics, BSN Sports, eGolf Ford of Brevard, Hampton Inn, Ingalls, Jets Pizza, Pepsi, Salsaritas Fresh Mexican Grill, Sully Steamers, Triangle Stop, and Young Transportation. Appreciate their support of Brevard College Tornado Athletics. Well, I do want to share with you some breaking news from today. Several awards were handed out. First, men's soccer, Samuel Callaghan, Esteban Berto, and Adam Spencer, all earning NCCSIA All-State honors. So that's the North Carolina Collegiate Sports Information Association handing out those awards. O'Callaghan, a first-team selection, Berto and Spencer selected to the second team. Women's soccer awards also were handed out today. And from the Tornadoes, Abby Warzencroft, the sophomore defender, honored by the NCCSIA All-State First-Team Selection. And volleyball, Caitlin Presley, the sophomore setter and right-side hitter from right here in Brevard, earning an All-State Second-Team honor. So congratulations to those honorees from the fall sports. Now, cycling, a big event this weekend coming up. It's the UCI Cyclocross World Championships. That's right, the World Championships, and they're actually on American soil this time around down in Fayetteville, Arkansas. 3 members from this year's team will be racing for Team Canada, Tyler Orschel, Tyler Clark, and Owen Clark. And then 3 alums of Brevard College, Erica Zaveda, Hannah Arnsman, and Scott McGill will be racing for Team USA. So stay tuned to Brevard College Tornado social media to follow along with the Cyclocross World Championships and those Tornadoes in action down in Arkansas. Well, since we saw you last, men's basketball was in action. They had a loss last Tuesday at Covenant, but then bounced back with a big win on the road versus Berea, 69-67. Sophomore LB Boyette leading the charge with 19 points. We'll talk to head coach Lee Burgess and a couple of those Tornado men's basketball players about that one. And then next up for the Tornadoes tomorrow, which is Tuesday night, 7 p.m. right here on the campus of Brevard College at the Boshamer Gymnasium. The Tornadoes will be back at home. This is after 5 straight road games for the Tornadoes. Finally back in the friendly confines of the Boshamer Gymnasium. Hope you can join us for that one. 7 p.m. at the Bosch on Tuesday night, Tornadoes versus Piedmont. Women's basketball had 3 games this past week. They had a win at Warren Wilson, a loss versus LaGrange on Friday night, where Destiny Williams had a career-high 32 points and also a career-high in the steals category. But then the Tornadoes with a big win on Saturday, 61-53 over Covenant to improve the Tornadoes to 9-5, 4-2 in the conference. Once again, Williams leading the charge with 22 points in that one. Also big days from McKenna Parkins with 14 points and Avery Lockwood with 9 points in a team-high 9 rebounds. Tornadoes will hit the road this week at Piedmont, at Berea, and then back at home, if you want to mark your calendars, a week from tomorrow, Tuesday, February the 1st, 6 p.m. at the Bosch. That'll be your next chance to see the women's basketball team right here on the campus of Brevard College. And with that, to continue our discussion on women's basketball, glad to be joined once again by head coach Donald Hudson. Coach Hudson, thanks for joining the program.
Thanks for having me, Phil. Always a pleasure to be on.
Absolutely. Well, that was a jam-packed week this past week, Coach. 3 games, beginning with that trip at Warren Wilson, which, came after a snowstorm hit, the area here. And then back-to-back games, the game versus LaGrange on Friday night, not the result you were looking for, but then the big win on Saturday versus Covenant. Can you kind of take NATO Nation through this past week and, that journey for women's basketball?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll start with the Warren Wilson game. A game that we were fortunate to get played. I know some teams had to cancel some games that day because of travel. You couldn't get out and get on the roads because of the ice and everything. And it's always better safe than sorry. So we were fortunate enough to get down the road a little bit past Asheville, Swannanoa, down toward Warren Wilson, and got to play a game where we didn't play our best. I'll be honest. We missed a lot of open shots. I think we defended okay. Them okay, but we didn't play our best offensively. But you'll never complain about a win. But we got to play against a 3-2 zone that they play, and that kind of gave us some issues. We got decent shots. They just didn't fall, Phil. But our defense was able to get us over the hump. They did a good job. Credit to Warren Wilson. They cut that thing to, I want to say, 1 or 2 points with about 3 or 4 minutes left. We called a timeout, talked to the girls and everything, and got them ready to roll. And they finished that game, and we got a nice win. But it was kind of a win that didn't feel like a win, Phil. And I know some of my fellow coaches kind of feel that when you get a win, but you just don't feel like you played well. You just didn't feel like the team played well. I didn't think we took the necessary strides forward around this time of the season that I would like to see. But like I said a few seconds ago, I'm not going to complain about the win. And then we had a quick turnaround to move into conference play. With LaGrange and Covenant coming up that Friday and that Saturday. And kudos to my team. Kudos to my girls being ready to go mentally and physically. Because, you go from prepping for Warren Wilson, you got to prep back-to-back for conference games. So we practiced that Thursday, got ready for LaGrange on Friday. And then we used Saturday morning shoot-around to get ready for Covenant. Like you said earlier, not the desired result in that LaGrange game. But I thought we played well, Phil. I thought we played well enough to win that game. The only thing we didn't do extremely well of that game was our free throws percentage. We did not shoot free throws well. We ended up losing the game by 11, and we missed a total of 15 free throws. And not to say that goes any different, that we may win the game if we make those free throws, but it's just a different game down the stretch. It puts a little more game pressure on them, and now everything's kind of nip and tuck and everything matters. But I thought we played well that game. We kind of executed our defensive scout, got decent shots offensively. Like you said, Destiny had a really good game. McKenna played well, but we just came up short. It was a similar game to the one that we played at their place. Very, very similar. We got off to a slow start. I think we were down maybe 6 or 7 going into the first quarter. We were down 8 in the first quarter at their place. Halftime, we went in up 2. And I can't remember that score at halftime at our place, but I think it was 1 or 2 points either way. And came out in the third quarter, played okay. We just missed too many free throws, Phil. We missed way too many free throws. Then we bounced back Saturday, had a good shoot around, got ready for Covenant, went over all this stuff in our shoot around, got ready for our plays and everything, and got a nice win. So overall, over the last 3, 2-1, I'm not going to complain about that. It would have been great to be 3-0 in that last 3, but I'm not going to be greedy. I'm happy with the 2-1 record that we had, and I do think the team is playing well right now, Phil. We're doing some good things on both ends of the floor. I'll always find things that I can harp on that we can be better at. But right now, I'm pleased with the way we're playing. We got a tough stretch coming up. We have Piedmont this week. They're number 1 in the league. And then we go to Berea on Saturday, and they're number 2 in the league. So we got our work cut out for us, but we'll be ready.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Coach. And, it's that you're in the core of USA South Conference play now. And, you tasted the postseason last year, qualifying for the USA South Conference tournament. I know that's one of the goals this year. All these games are just absolutely critical at this juncture, correct?
Yes, sir. Everyone matters. Everyone the rest of the way matters. And it's pretty tight right now. It's pretty tight. There's some things going on within our conference, voting on different things to see which way we're going to go with the virus kind of impacting games and games having to be postponed. So we'll know within the next week what we'll be looking at as far as what seeding gets into the tournament. Right now, it's the top 5. I think we're sitting at 4, right behind LaGrange at 3. So everyone matters. But the only thing that I can ask for from my team, Phil, is going forward is to make sure that we control our own destiny. Right now we have that. Like everything that we want is still in front of us, and we hold it in our hands right now. So as long as we take care of our business, we don't have to worry about what anybody else is doing. That's a good feeling as a coach.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Coach, you mentioned the, matchup with LaGrange and how you split the 2 games with that foe, both, exciting games, could have gone either way. It seems like either one, well-matched teams. And then this week upcoming, you've got Piedmont twice in the next 3 games. You've got them on the road on Wednesday, then back here at the Bosch on Tuesday. Can you talk about that as far as, facing an opponent for the second time, the way you might game plan differently, and then also just how, the teams kind of probably get to know each other on both ends?
Yeah, in conference play, Phil, and this is something that I always share with the girls. In conference play, especially that second time around, it's not many secrets. There's some tweaks, there's some small adjustments, but for the most part, teams are going to do what they do. And it comes down to who can execute their stuff the best, who plays the hardest, who plays the smartest, and just making some shots down the stretch. So we'll be familiar with them. They'll be familiar with us. I've coached against Coach Purdy the last 5 years, and she's coached against me the last 5 years. So we'll know what they're doing. They'll know what we're doing. Both teams will be ready for the game and going into the tournament. So hopefully that we're ready to go, Phil. I'm looking forward to it.
Coach, would like to reflect back a little more on that win over Covenant on the weekend. And Avery Lockwood, this is one of these sort of unsung heroes on this team. It's a veteran presence, and she came up big, especially on the glass. Throughout that contest, 9 points in total, 9 rebounds. Also, a very effective passer from that, low post position. Can you tell us even more about Avery and, maybe beyond the stat sheet, what she provides?
That's exactly what I was just about to say, Phil. Avery does a lot of things that if you don't watch the game or if you don't understand what you're looking at, you won't see her impact. But she does a lot that doesn't show up on the stat sheet. Like you just said, she's a really, really good interior passer. Almost to a fault sometimes. Like she catches it and I'm looking for her to be aggressive and try to get us a bucket and whatnot on the block. And she's looking to make the kick out to teammates, which is nothing wrong with it. And when she's doing that and kicking to open teammates, but she rebounds well. I've noticed a little more sense of urgency from her over the last 2 weeks because her window's getting smaller. She's coming up to the end of her senior season and she wants to make sure she leaves everything she has on the court. Tremendous kid, Phil. Tremendous kid. I can't speak highly enough of her character. I've enjoyed having her as a part of our team for the last 4 years. I'm going to definitely miss her 100%. Hopefully we can go out the right way. I mean, like you said, that Saturday game, she got a few buckets on the block for us, made a mid-range jumper and made some good passes. Came up big on the glass, and she's a big piece of why we won that basketball game.
Yeah, Avery with the big game, 9 points and 9 rebounds. Also McKenna Parkins with 14 points and 4 rebounds. Then Destiny Williams with another big night, 22 points. She also drained 3 3-pointers, had 6 boards, 5 steals. So big numbers all the way around. And, Coach, that blend of veteran players like Avery, like Shakira Thompson, like Destiny Williams, et cetera. And then also, this young core that you have, that strong freshman and sophomore class really brings a compelling, dynamic to the Tornadoes.
So we have a nice mix. We have a nice mix of kids that have been here for 4 or 5 years and have seen everything. It's not much that Avery, Shakira, Destiny, it's not much that they haven't seen around here. Even Tasha, she's injured right now, but we have her voice. Her voice is really big in practice and is big during the games. And it's not much that those kids haven't seen. So they're able to help our younger kids come along. They're very talented. Aisha Short is talented. All of my freshmen, Lexi, Aisha, they're playing a lot of minutes right now. Lexi started almost every game. I don't know if she anticipated that coming in. But having Tasha to lean on, Destiny, Shakira, even Mel, our upperclassmen and everything, having them to lean on has been really good for our younger kids.
Outstanding. Well, Coach, we're looking forward to this stretch run for the Tornadoes on the road again this week, and then back at the Bosch on Tuesday versus Piedmont. Now, in case there's a member of NATO Nation out there who's watching this program and who just simply hasn't been to see your club yet and see the women's basketball team in action, give us a little sales piece. What would you tell them about the team and why they should come on out and check y'all out?
The biggest thing, Phil, I think we're fun to watch. We play extremely hard. I cannot take that from the group. The group plays really hard. Win or loss, no matter what's going on in the situation with the score or who's in the crowd, big crowd, smaller crowd, the group, they go out and they play really hard. So if anybody that hasn't come out to see us, come check us out. I think you'll be pleased with what you see. When we get the 3-ball going, I think that's kind of the X factor with us. When we're making shots from the outside, we're a really good team. Even without that, we have an interior presence now with Avery, Destiny, and McKenna. Those kids are tough covers down there. They're tough covers, and they get to really quality shots. And then that kind of opens the floor up for our shooting. And once those threes start going, We start defending really well. Sometimes we'll get out in the full court and pressure some. I think we're a good team to watch. We're a fun team to watch.
Yeah, exciting product, no doubt about it. And fans will get that chance a week from tomorrow if you want to check out the Tornadoes women's basketball team. Also, Coach, we get new listeners all the time. So do want to tell them even more about you, in your background, a dual sport athlete here at Brevard College, both football and basketball. Then, you began your coaching career and, you've been here ever since. Tell us a little bit about yourself and, your journey as a Tornado.
Yes, sir. I came to Brevard back in 2006. That seems so long ago now. And to still be here, I think that kind of speaks to the place. I came here to play football and basketball, like you said. I majored in exercise science. I was on the 5-year plan. I had an unfortunate injury that forced me to miss, I tore my ACL, and it forced me to miss my senior season. And so that kind of led me into a different route. That our senior season, I was able to sit beside my head coach at the time, Coach Mike Jones. And once the season was over, he offered me a job as his assistant. And a few things happened that kind of led to me being assistant with Coach LB and Mark Prosser before he left. Then I transitioned to the women's side with Coach Shannon Reed. And I've been privileged to learn from each and every one of them. Being able to sit beside them and watch film with them and watch games and just to kind of pick little pieces of the things that I like from all three of them and kind of mold my own coaching style. I've also spent a little bit of time coaching football. I coached football for 2 years. So I've done a lot around here, Phil. Done a lot around here, and I plan to be here for a while, as long as the place will have me.
Very good. Well, look forward to continuing to introduce you and, the women's basketball program to NATO Nation. And with that, it looks like we've got a couple of the women's basketball student athletes ready to roll here on Tornado Talk. So we'll invite them into the program. Chyna Pouncey and also Calli Wells entering the building. Coach Hudson, before we let you go, tell us a little more about these two, Chyna Pouncey and Calli Wells.
Yeah, Chyna and Calli, they're part of this sophomore class that we expect a lot of. They're going to do a really good job of leading this program into the future. They both have played a lot of minutes. Calli's coming off an injury. For everyone that doesn't know, she played in her first game this past weekend. I thought she did some good things out there. And I know as the season continues to go on, she'll get better with her timing and her rhythm and everything will come back. And we're expecting a lot out of her. And Chyna Pouncey, she started almost every game since she's been here. Her freshman year, I think probably the first 5 or 6 games she came off the bench. But after that, we made a change. And she's been in the starting lineup pretty much every game since then. And just a ball of energy. She brings a ton of energy that we need on the defensive end, really rebounds the ball well, and someone that I know I can count on every game. But from both of these kids, everyone going forward, we're expecting a lot out of them, and they know that.
Very good. Well, Coach Donald Hudson, best of luck this week as you continue with USA South Conference competition. We'll see you soon at the Bosch when you're back in town next Tuesday. And thanks again for joining the show.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me, Phil. See y'all tomorrow, ladies.
All right, there he goes, head coach Donald Hudson. And as Coach Hudson helped us introduce these two, Chyna Pouncey, the sophomore guard from Dillon, South Carolina, Dillon High School. Chyna, thanks for joining the show.
Thanks for having me.
And also joined by Calli Wells, the sophomore guard from Fort Mill, South Carolina, Fort Mill High School. Calli, thanks for joining the program.
Thanks, Phil.
Well, Chyna, let's start with you. Big win over the weekend over Covenant. And I know you guys were motivated for that conference win, tough back-to-back situation where you played on Friday night and then had to get going again on Saturday afternoon. But y'all came away with the 61-53 win over Covenant. What was the key to the victory, Chyna?
I would say the key to the victory probably is our defense. I was always told that defense wins games, and they had told us that we have never beat that team before. So that was kind of like really a motivation for us to go hard and try to get that win too.
Yeah, that's exactly right. 0-10 in the series history between the two schools, and then Tornadoes, your squad, the two of you part of it, getting that win. And Calli, it had to feel good for you, getting back on the court after being out with injury. From your perspective, can you talk about Saturday?
Well, for me personally, I was just overcome with emotions. It kind of just felt surreal getting back out there. So that was my motivation just from coming off of injury. But like Chyna said, I feel like we had a lot of internal motivation just because we've never beaten that team. And I know my class last year, they killed us our first 2 games of the season. So we definitely wanted to get back and show them who we are this year.
Hey, Chyna, it had to mean a lot for the team to see Calli back on the court, correct?
Oh, yes, of course.
And you all, as a sophomore class, you guys are a strong class. There's a lot of talent up and down, that sophomore class here on the women's basketball team. I'd love to hear from both of you. First, Chyna, what does that mean to kind of be in this together with, those of you in now a sophomore class, but reflecting back last year as freshmen as well?
Our sophomore class, I feel like we have grown a lot as players, coming off from the leadership that we had from seniors last year too, and this year I feel like that they're leading us in a good direction to lead the team once they leave, because we know that once the players leave this year, it's really gonna be all up to us, and we just got to put the pieces together to get
Calli?
everything done.
Yeah, definitely what Chyna said. We had some good seniors last year that kind of showed us the way. And I feel like our sophomore class, we already were kind of a headstrong group. So I feel like we had some pretty good leaders already. And now just the seniors passing that down to us will definitely be able to take over the team next year and lead us in the right direction.
Chyna Pouncey, the sophomore guard. He had a career-high 12 rebounds back on November 16th versus Bob Jones, if you can reflect back on that one. But, you've been a presence on the glass altogether. You ranked 4th on the team in rebounds, 3rd in offensive boards. Chyna, what's the key for you kind of, cleaning up that glass and being able to pull down all these rebounds?
I really just try to find my way through people and try to figure out like the right amount of time that I should jump up for a rebound, or like how I should maneuver myself towards trying to get through people especially when they boxing out. That's what makes it harder. But I always try to find a way to try to get in there and get it.
In Calli, defense and rebounding, no matter what position you play on the court, it's critical in the game of basketball, correct?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Well, would love for NATO Nation to get to know each of you a little further as well. Chyna, out of Dillon, South Carolina, Dillon High School. When did you start playing basketball, Chyna? When did it start to become serious? And, how'd you eventually find your way to Brevard College?
I started playing basketball in 5th grade. I was kind of like exploring a lot of activities and sports to try to see which one I really like. And I'll say it probably got serious around like my 7th and 8th grade year when I actually started playing AAU. And I just try to grow from a player ever since then, but working with trainers sometimes, and sometimes just trying to get in the gym by myself to become a better player. And what led me to here, I wasn't even really going to play basketball in college. But I had one of my teammates that had taught me into it, and she was like, you got this talent and stuff. You might as well take it somewhere and use it. So because of her, that's the reason why I'm here. And I had visited here during when COVID first started coming around. And then I had actually liked Coach Hud, and he is one of the main reasons why I came here.
Very good. Well, we're glad you arrived here at Brevard College, without a doubt. Calli, tell us about your basketball journey.
Yeah, so I actually started playing basketball as soon as I could play sports. I played a lot of different sports. I was a 3-sport athlete through middle school and most of high school. I feel like I started taking basketball more serious probably when I got to high school. I realized that basketball was a sport that I wanted to pursue, and I've played that sport. I dropped the other 2 and just focused on basketball. I played AAU as well. And then Brevard, this was the first place I came on a visit for basketball, actually. And once I got here, Coach Hud, like Chyna said, was definitely the main reason I came here. He made it just feel like a family atmosphere, and I knew that's where I wanted to be. So,
Calli, tell us about your academics. Have you selected a major? What are you focused on in the classroom?
Yes, sir. I'm a health science major, and I want to be a physician's assistant.
And how about yourself, Chyna? Tell us about your academics.
I'm majoring in business and minoring in biology, and I plan to use those to become a pharmaceutical sales rep.
Very good. Great to hear both of you guys well on your way in the classroom as well. Before we let you go, would like to talk a little bit about just what makes your team in being a Brevard College Tornado women's basketball student athlete a special experience. Chyna, when you think about the team culture, when you think about, the group of players on your team and how you guys get along and everything, what comes to mind that makes you guys a special group?
Well, we try to respect each other, and like we're not perfect. It's like we do have little arguments and we bicker back and forth towards each other, but at the end of the day, we know that it's all love towards each other, and we really got each other back through whatever.
Calli, same question for you.
I agree. I think it's mainly just that family aspect. We're all as one. We're all one at the end of the day. No matter what we go through or little arguments here and there, we always come back, and we're all a family. And our team motto this year is whatever it takes. So I feel like we have done a pretty good job this year of living by that principle.
Very good. Well, good to see some old and new friends chiming in here, and including your coach there, and former team manager as well. Before we let you go, Chyna, Pouncey, and Calli Wells, want to give you each the opportunity for any shout outs or thank yous. Anybody you just want to give a nod to who's maybe helped you along the way, who may or may not be watching this program, but it's your chance to acknowledge anyone who may have helped you. Chyna, shout outs or thank yous?
I want to shout out to my family, and definitely Coach Hud and Coach AB.
Very good. Calli?
Definitely my family, the most important. My friends who have pushed me along the way, all my coaches and trainers, and like Chyna said, definitely Coach Hud and Coach AB. Very
good. Chyna, Pouncey, and Calli Wells, the Tornadoes women's basketball team. They're on the road this week at Piedmont, then at Berea, and then back at home on Tuesday, February the 1st, 6 p.m. at the Bosch. Ladies, good luck this week as you continue USA South Conference play. Great job this evening on Tornado Talk. Thanks for joining the show.
Thanks, Phil.
All right, there they go. And we're going to switch gears quickly here and talk men's basketball, as we'll invite into the program head coach Lee Burgess. Coach Burgess, thanks for joining the show.
Absolutely. I'm glad to be here, as always. So looking forward to it.
Well, Coach, last week a loss at Covenant, and then the team travels to Berea on Saturday and gets the 69-67 win. For members of NATO Nation who might not have been able to catch those games on the live stream, can you catch us up on the past week?
Yeah, long trip to Covenant. Covenant is one of our toughest trips because, number one, the length, it's a long way. We're usually there and back in the same day. And it's a long trip for us, and they're really good. So those two combinations make that a really tough game for us. We started the game reasonably well at Covenant. Probably played the first 15 minutes of the first half pretty tightly with them. And then we had a really, really poor 15-minute stretch from the last 5 of the first half to the first 10 of the second half, where we were just really not doing the things that we needed to do to be successful. And they got a big lead, and we played hard, harder at the end, the last 10 minutes, and the score ended up being what it was. I think they beat us 30. They're a good team. They had a lot to do with it. We had a lot to do with it. We had some soul searching going on in the locker room afterwards, and talked as a team about what we needed to do differently and better, and able to right the ship and go up to Berea, which is an equally long trip. So it was, something that we had some experience with Covenant, and we were able to make a long bus ride same day, get off the bus and get ourselves ready to go and play, and really came out well. Our first half against Berea up there was one of our better halves of basketball that we've played so far. Had a 16-point lead or 14-point lead at the half. Talked to our guys in the locker room. I think we had 12 assists on 17 made field goals in the first half. We were sharing the ball really well. Offense was clicking. We were guarding them well. Again, it was one of the better halves of basketball that we've played this year. second half came, and they're a good team, and they've got some offensive firepower. Trey Mentor is a really, really good player for them. They made a few shots and just slowly kept chipping away at our lead. I think we had some turnovers in the second half that we didn't have in the first half. Didn't quite take care of the ball as well. They played a little bit better offensively, and we ended up finding ourselves in a game down the stretch, and really had to focus in on executing with some stops and some scores in the last 3 or 4 minutes. And fortunately, we were able to get that done and come away with a really tight 2-point win. So it's a season sweep for us against Berea, a double overtime win here and a 2-point win there. So 2 really, really close games. We were able to come out on top and get that sweep, which is a great feeling to have.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Coach. And, on the road and you build a lead, and then the home team is coming back and they feel like they've got the, wind at their backs. That's a tough spot to be in. And, there's something to that as far as holding off the whole home team and coming away with the victory, surviving.
There is. I mean, our guys definitely bowed their neck and got it done. I mean, you're right. When you've got the lead that we had, I mean, I think we were up 15, 16 points in the second half, and it wasn't like a huge run, like a 16-0 run over 2 or 3 minutes that got the lead, gone. It was just kind of a slow chisel. It's like you look up, it's like, man, okay, it was 14, now it's 11. Okay, now it's 8. 3 minutes later, now it's 5. And, you're scoring some, but not a lot, and they're scoring a little more frequently. And again, it wasn't like a huge run. And then you look up and there's 3 minutes to go and it's tied. Like, how did we get here? And so, again, going back, I mean, some turnovers on our end, and they made some shots on their end. And we missed a few bunnies around the rim that we could have made. You look back and things like that certainly factored into us, losing that lead. But down the stretch, definitely made plays. I mean, we had our guest later on, Chancey Watson, had a huge 3 with just over a minute to go to give us a 3-point lead. It was a tie game, and he made a huge 3 to give us that lead. We were able to get a stop and then come down and really bleed a lot of time off the clock. And we had we were contesting a 3-point shot at the end and was called for a foul at the end, 1.8 seconds left, up 3. I thought it was a really good contest. And made the first one, missed the second one. I think missed the third one on purpose. We were able to get the rebound. That's how we ended up with a 2-point win. But our guys really bowed their necks when they had to. Hopefully, moving forward, we can take care of those leads a little bit better and learn from some of the things that happened to us to give away that lead. But proud of the first half and proud of our guys bowing their neck down the stretch to come away with that win.
In a unique scheduling this month as well. The first 5 games of this calendar year here in January 2022, all on the road. You're at home tomorrow, but then you're on the road 2 more times this coming weekend. So grand total of 7 of 8 games this month on the road.
Yeah.
I'm sure it battle tests you on one side of things, but I'm sure, the guys are hungry to, get to play in front of the home crowd tomorrow.
I hope they are. I think they will be. The schedule wasn't supposed to be like this. We were supposed to have a home game against Huntington January 15th, but Huntington came down with COVID, had to shut their team down for a little while, and that bumped that home game till later in the year. Excuse me. So the schedule was not initially set up like that, but that's what it's turned out to be. So I'm going to hope that, yes, it is going to battle test us. And on the flip side, we're going to play a lot of home games in February. So that's where it'll balance back out for us, which is, I think, and I hope good into the season, and maybe some, the legs are a little weary, a little bumps and bruise and things like that. You don't have to go on the road. We'll be able to be at home. But it is a challenging stretch for us right now, for sure, that we're in the midst of. And I do think our guys will feed off the energy of playing at home. The last home game we had was December 31st. And for New Year's Eve, the crowd was decent, but it was a New Year's Eve crowd, so even that home game wasn't really a true home game, So this is going to be the first time in a while that we've been able to play in front of our home fans. And it's a big game for us. Piedmont coming in from a percentage standpoint, tied with us in the standings. And so it's a huge, huge game. and we're playing at home, and yeah, I'm sure we're going to come out excited and ready to go.
Yeah, you're right, Coach. It's dating all the way back to that first matchup with Berea back on December 11th. So we're talking about 6 weeks since the student, section's been able to be there for a men's basketball game, and hopefully they'll turn out tomorrow, and that'll help the cause. Well, tell us even more about this matchup tomorrow, Coach. 7 p.m. at the Bosch, Brevard versus Piedmont.
Yeah, they've got a really, really, really good player, Jordan Foote. He's been there forever, and so he's a graduate student. He's using his super senior year for his COVID year this year, so he's been there for a while. He is a really, really good player. Their leading scorer, good size, about 6'4", very mobile for a big man at this level. Very crafty around the rim. And for being a post player 6'4", he's not overly athletic, and because of that he uses his mobility to his advantage really, really well. He's decent in the mid range, just a really good player. And it's a tough matchup for us and really for anybody at this level, because as their post player, usually the post players that are his size are usually a little bulkier, maybe not quite as mobile. Or if they are as mobile, they don't have his size. And so it's a tough matchup for a lot of people. It'll be a tough matchup for us. So we focused on how we want to guard him and what we want to do. And then they've got other players that are very capable as well. They've got a lot of shooters around that are capable of getting hot and making a bunch of threes. They've dealt with some injuries throughout this year to some really key players. So they've had some guys that are still kind of growing into the roles that they're in right now. They didn't start the year in the roles that they're in, but they're proven to be very capable in some leading roles that they haven't held for very long. So our guys have definitely, especially our veteran guys that maybe are a little more familiar with their old personnel, have had to kind of brain flip from the guys that we thought we would be keying on aren't necessarily the guys that we're keying on now, with the exception of Foote. So yes, it's a team that runs their offense very effectively and very well. They're going to run a lot of motion. They're going to try to create a lot of misdirection to free themselves for shots. And when all else fails, they'll get the ball to Foote and let him go make a play. So offensively, that's what we're going to see. Defensively, we think we're going to see a lot of zone from them. It's kind of what they've gone to here later in the year with where they are as from a personnel standpoint. It's a unique zone. It's kind of a 2-1-2. And the two guys up top extend up the floor a little bit. So it's a unique style. You don't see it often. And I know teams kind of fight that when they play us. We play a unique style, and it's very different prep from a lot of your other games. And that's what we see with Piedmont, is just the prep offensively for what to do against them is just so much different than what you would see with other teams, that we really had to key in on that and make sure we're on the same page.
Also, a special cause this week that'll be celebrated tomorrow. It's Coaches versus Cancer Suits and Sneakers Week, a nationwide event where basketball coaches across the country unite for the common cause of saving lives from cancer. The coaches wear sneakers with their suits during the games to help raise awareness. This year's fundraiser supports childhood cancer awareness through the Gold Together campaign. For more information, go to nabc.com. Coach, this is a great program that, really throughout the country, throughout the sport of college basketball, all sorts of participation, and fantastic that Brevard College is able to be a part of it.
Yeah, I got a text from counterpart at Huntington just to see if we were going to be doing it along with them this weekend, and he said, we're going to do it. We bought the pullovers, the Coaches versus Cancer pullovers we're going to wear with our sneakers, and want to make sure we were doing it. And I said, well, I'm still wearing a suit. Most people aren't, but I am. I know I'm in the minority for sure. I said, I'm still wearing a suit, but I'm definitely going to wear my sneakers with the suit. So I enjoy the week. It's fun to see the guys on TV, wearing their suits with the sneakers. It's definitely caught on and gained more and more traction as the years have gone on. So like you said, it's a great awareness piece for a really, really good cause. And as coaches, we have fun doing it. So it's a good thing all the way around.
Yeah, that's a good point, Coach. With the pandemic and so forth, the fashion sort of changed a little bit across the college basketball coaching world, and everybody suddenly felt like they were in Chaminade, Hawaii, kind of the casual look. But good to see that everyone's getting back and suited up for this one, for this Coaches versus Cancer suits and sneakers week. Well, Coach, after this game against Piedmont, on the road again, Huntington and LaGrange. And, you talked about the mileage, to Berea and to Covenant and so forth. Another long trip as far as, just the miles, and actually got to cross a time zone for one of the matchups.
Yeah, so we'll have Huntington first, and different from the other two. We'll go the day before, so that does break it up a little bit. We're not going a long distance and rolling off the bus to play a game. So we'll go over to Montgomery on Friday and get our hotel and get a good night's rest before the game on Saturday. But yeah, it's our farthest trip. Huntington in Montgomery is a long way down there. You got to go through Atlanta, which is never fun, and you never really know what you're going to get doing that. But going the day before, it kind of takes a little bit of that pressure off of making sure that your timing is 100% accurate and those kind of things. So it is a long way, but again, with this game tomorrow, big game, and then those games Saturday, Sunday, big games for us. And we've logged a lot of miles. We've played a lot of road games, and if we can keep getting some wins on the road here, it's going to set us up for a really exciting February that we hope to be able to play a lot of really, really meaningful games in front of our home fans. So we got some business we got to take care of first, but that is the opportunity that's in front of us. So hopefully we can take advantage.
Well, these road warriors, known as the Brevard College Tornadoes during the month of January, will be at home tomorrow versus Piedmont. That's Tuesday, January the 25th, 7 p.m. at the Bosch. Hope you're able to join us and help cheer on the Tornadoes. If you're not able to make it live, we'll be also bringing it to you on the YouTube channel. And so best of luck, Coach, in that matchup. And before we let you go, would love to have you stick around as we bring in two student athletes from your club. And so we welcome into the program now student athletes Garrett Sutherland and Chancey Watson. Coach, before we let you go, tell NATO Nation a little bit about these two outstanding student athletes.
Yeah, well, Chancey is a junior for us, new to the program, transferred in from Southern Wesleyan, originally from Charlotte, North Carolina area. A very, very talented offensive player, especially very confident offensive player. And when he gets going shooting the ball, it's a tough thing to deal with for the other team's defense. And like I mentioned earlier in the show, shot it well against Berea and really made a huge shot down the stretch against Berea to help in a big way get us over the hump. So Chancey is still learning through how to best fit in with how we play, and it's something that he's concentrating on and really working on day in, day out. We can see that growth as a coaching staff and as a program, and just keep encouraging him to do that. But from a talent standpoint, he's one of our more talented guys. We're definitely fortunate to have him. Garrett, I appreciate you combing your hair for us, Garrett. And Garrett, freshman for us from the Atlanta area, Atlanta, Georgia area. I can always count on Garrett to go play hard. He has shown some real big flashes of making some really big plays for us. I think for a freshman, he has the respect of all of his teammates because of how hard he works, how hard he plays, how good a teammate he is. I don't know if there's too many. I don't know of any guys on our team that just don't really like being around Garrett. And that's contagious because Garrett is again a really, really hard worker, makes big plays for us in the hustle category. Can always count on him to get on the offensive glass. Started the year without much of a role on this team and just stuck with it, just put his head down and kept working. And every opportunity he got, he just kept playing well and kept getting more and more of an opportunity until it turned into a freshman player of the week in the conference. And now he's got a really significant role on the team. So really glad both these guys are in our program. Going to be a big part of us moving forward this year. And as we keep building a positive momentum into next year, I'm glad these guys are going to be a part of it.
Very good, Coach. I appreciate that. And best of luck this week We'll see you at the Bosch tomorrow night versus Piedmont. Thanks for joining the program.
Thank you.
All right, there he goes, head coach Lee Burgess. And as Coach Burgess helped us introduce these two, freshman forward, where's number 20, Garrett Sutherland out of Atlanta, Georgia, Mount Pisgah Christian School. How you doing tonight, Garrett?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Excellent. Thanks for joining the program. And also with us, number 32 on the uniform, Chancey Watson, the junior guard from Charlotte, North Carolina, Olympic High School. Chancey, thanks for joining the show.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Chancey. Well, let's start with you. This big win at Berea, and like Coach mentioned, you drained a 3 late. That was a big part of that. And altogether, you hit 3 3-pointers in this one, but a team win all the way around. What were the keys from your standpoint as far as you guys getting that victory on the road in USA South Conference play?
Basically, just sticking it out, putting our foots on their neck down the stretch, just listening to coach and staying with the execution.
Series sweep over Berea, Garrett, and you were a big part of that first win as well. Double overtime. If you can reflect back on that one, wild night at the Bosch. You had career high minutes. You had 9 points in that one, and a big part of that 104-98 win down the stretch. Reflect back on that game, but also just what it means to sweep a team like Berea.
Yeah, that game at the Bosch was wild. We probably should have won that game 3 or 4 times, but we got it out. We got the win, and it's a huge thing for us to get a sweep on Berea, and we hope to get it on a few more teams in the conference.
Yeah, no doubt. And that begins tomorrow with a big game versus Piedmont back here on the home court. Garrett, tell us about your preparation for tomorrow's game.
As Coach was saying earlier, we're really focusing on Foot. He's a real good player, and we know they got a lot of guys who can shoot the ball and score the ball. So they're a really good, well-rounded team, but I think we prepared well for them.
And Chancey, you got to be excited, not just yourself, but the entire team to be back at home after all these road games.
Yeah, we are. We're very excited to play in front of our fans and try to get one at the grip.
Yeah, you can build off that energy, no doubt about it. Well, would like to learn more about each of you. And first, let's start with your games as far as, on the court. Describe yourself as a player. If someone were to say, what are you all about? Tell me your strengths. Garrett.
Like Coach was saying, I feel like I do a lot of the little things on the court, but I can also shoot the ball, shoot in the mid-range, good defender. But yeah, definitely a hustle player who does a lot of the little things.
And Chancey, what are your sweet spots?
I just pretty much wherever I can get, you know what I'm saying? Like Coach said, I'm very confident. But with that confidence, it comes from my teammates and coach. So basically, wherever I can get, I'm comfortable at.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And, tell us a little bit about your journey and your background as basketball players. Garrett, would love to hear from you as far as, when did you start playing, when did it get serious, and eventually finding your way to Brevard College?
Yeah, I've been playing. I played as a little kid. I played about all the sports, just in church, rec leagues. But then I probably really got serious about basketball in middle school, probably 7th grade. I decided that's really the path I wanted to go on, and just worked on it through high school. And I felt that this college was the best fit for me coming out of high school to play basketball at.
And then tell us about, finding Brevard College in specific and, leaving the Atlanta metro area to come on up here to the mountains.
Yeah, I was kind of tired of the Atlanta area because I've just been there my whole life. I kind of wanted to get out and come to the mountains and kind of just get far away from the city for a little bit.
I don't know if anyone's really put this connection together. I'm sure they have, but you went to Mount Pisgah Christian School. The name Pisgah, in a high school that's outside of Atlanta, and then you wind up here in Brevard, North Carolina, where just about everything's named Pisgah.
Yeah, when I came on my visit here, I thought that it was super ironic that everything was Pisgah, and I went to Mount Pisgah.
Yeah, definitely some irony and some synchronicities and serendipity there, no doubt. Chancey, out of Charlotte, North Carolina, Olympic High School, you transferred in from Southern Wesleyan. Tell us about your journey, starting from when you first touched the basketball.
I played just about every sport as a kid. I played basketball really young, but I stopped after a while. Around like 8th grade, I really started taking it serious. Started working on it every day, late nights, and really just putting everything into it.
And then eventually, you get to the point where you're going to play college ball, and then you make the decision to come here to Brevard, North Carolina, in Brevard College. Tell us about that.
Well, I was speaking with Coach Miles. I was actually supposed to be here last year, but talking to Coach Miles and Coach Burgess, they just guided me here, and I just felt like this was the place I needed to be.
All right, well, let's talk a little NBA as well, guys. I want favorite player all time and also your favorite team if you got one. Garrett?
I'd say my favorite player is probably Clay. I'm glad he's back, and I just love watching him play. And favorite team, gotta rep the hometown. Go Hawks.
And would you say you model your game around Klay Thompson a little bit, or?
Not really. I just really like enjoying him play.
Very good. Same question for you, Chancey. Tell us about your NBA passions.
Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant. I'm a Lakers fan. Well, pretty much I go wherever LeBron goes now, but my favorite player of all time is Kobe Bryant.
Very good. Certainly good choices for both of you gentlemen. In the classroom, certainly a big emphasis, here at Brevard College and with the men's basketball team. Garrett, have you zeroed in on, what you might want to major in?
I think I'm going to do a business major and then with a pre-law minor in that.
Very good. And Chancey, tell us about your studies.
Business, marketing.
Very good. Certainly a good place to study those endeavors here at Brevard College as well. Well, before we let you go, I do want to get you both an opportunity to give any shout outs or thank yous, anybody who may have helped you along the way. Just the floor is yours in this department. Garrett Sutherland, shout outs or thank yous?
I just want to shout out, thank God for just giving me this opportunity first and foremost. Then I want to shout out my mom and dad. They've always been super supportive of me, and just they'd always get behind me no matter whatever I wanted to do.
Very good. Well said. Chancey Watson, same opportunity for you. Shout outs or thank yous?
I want to shout out to God, family, Naya, Hudson, and people very close to me.
All right. Before we let you go, tomorrow, just want to remind everybody, men's basketball will be in action 7 p.m. versus Piedmont at the Bosch. Garrett, give us a little sales pitch. Let NATO Nation know why they should come out and see you guys tomorrow.
I think we're going to put our best foot forward tomorrow. You haven't get to see us in a long time, and it'll be worth your while.
Chancey, same opportunity for you.
Same thing Garrett just said. We're going to play hard. We're trying to get a dub.
Yeah, so come on out there tomorrow night, NATO Nation at the Bosch. These gentlemen and the Tornadoes will be finally back at home after a bunch of road games. But welcome home. Thanks for joining the show this evening. We'll see you tomorrow night at the Bosch.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Garrett Sutherland, Chancey Watson, great job. Those two Brevard College Tornadoes. And want to thank all of our guests this evening. We had head coach Lee Burgess for men's basketball, along with women's basketball head coach Donald Hudson. And Garrett Sutherland, Chancey Watson, Chyna, Pouncey, and Calli Wells were our student athlete guests. Want to thank our sponsors, Arby's, Brevard Orthopedics, BSN Sports, eGolf, Ford of Brevard, Hampton Inn, Ingles, Jets Pizza, Salsarita, Sully Steamers, Triangle Stop, and Young Transportation. Hope to see you tomorrow night. Men's basketball versus Piedmont at the Bosch. And then the women's team will be next at home a week from tomorrow, February the 1st, also versus Piedmont at the Bosch. Thank our producer, Joseph Marvin, and thank you, NATO Nation, for joining us for another episode of Tornado Talk. Thanks for joining us this evening and all your support of Brevard College Tornado Athletics. Go Tornadoes!